This is Shade Foray with TaxSaleSupport.com. I'm here with Steven Swenson, and this is another one of our Property Deal of the Week videos.
Yeah, and today we're going to be talking about New York. Now, New York is considered a tax deed state.
Yeah, that basically just means that that counties foreclose on properties eventually in order to recover the delinquent taxes owed. So, it's a place where you can buy properties. They're generally going to be sold to the highest bidder, and they have both on-site and online auctions.
Yeah, now they use a premium bid method, which means that they're going to bid up in price until the high bid is established, and that high bid will be the winning bidder. Now, they have both online auctions, but they still do hold some on-site auctions there at the county courthouse or county-approved building.
Yeah. Now, something else that's unique about New York is that they do take better photos of properties. They have better images. So with a lot of the sales that will happen, they'll send somebody out there on site to actually take photos of the property with a sign in front of it, which is a requirement by law. And so you tend to get more current photos.
Yeah, that is one big advantage. Now, if you like our videos and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We'd love to have you join the family.
Yeah. Now, what we're going to be looking at today is actually a sale that just happened, just finished up, and we're going to be looking at some of the results from that. And so the sale is for Lockport, and it is Lockport, New York. You can see here that this was an auction that was done through Auctions International. And so we're going to be looking at some of these properties here. So the first one we're going to be looking at was actually the very first property on the list that ended up selling for $60,000. And they provided quite a few images of the property. What we're looking at here, though, was a restaurant.
Yeah, well, and when it comes to something like this, like a commercial property, it could easily be rehabbed into something else. It can be used as a restaurant again. A lot of things like restaurants went out of business during the pandemic, and now there's new restaurants popping back up, and so that could be an option, or even just redoing the building and into some other use, whether that be office or retail or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be pretty easy to do that, with a rehab, but it was only picked up for $60,000. It has an assessed value of $172,000. A market that's probably over $200,000. So realistically, this property was purchased for about a third of value, which leaves a lot of room there if you do want to do some kind of rehab on it.
Yeah, well, and it looks like it's got, some good parking there in the rear, so there's a lot of possibility in what you could do with a property like this.
Yeah. Now let's look at the next one here, which is another interesting property. So, this property sold for $80,000. Originally, it caught my eye because it seemed like it was a little bit higher, but when you go to look at it, it was built in 1888 and 3,000 square feet. It was a mansion at the time that it was built, and it's probably had some kind of upkeep on it in order for people to still be living in it.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And it looks like, certain aspects of the property have been kept up to date. I mean, you can see that it needs paint and stuff like that, but I noticed that the yard is mowed. Mm-hmm. And the bushes seem to be trimmed, and so there's some upkeep. It could still be occupied at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a house that's 140 years old, and so to be in the condition that it's in, somebody has loved it and cared for it a lot.
Yeah, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It's quite large at 3,000 square feet. The estimate on it is $275,000. But one thing that's incredibly interesting is just the rent estimate on there.
Yeah.
At $3,600 a month, and even if it's not quite that much, it shows that this area has a very high rental amount. And so, at that type of rental, even $3,000 a month, even if you were, at $80,000, and let's say you had to put in another $40,000 or $50,000 to get a rehab, you're still getting this property, for around less than half of its market value.
Yeah, and in terms of rental income, it could really bring in a lot of money. Really, its real value could be in just the rental income, its ability to bring in $40,000 a year in rent. Now, if you haven't been to secretsoftaxinginvesting.com yet to download your free ebook, that's definitely something you should do. You can go there and subscribe there to either get our free ebook or also when we hold free webinars.
Yeah, you can go ahead and click the link in the description, and that'll give you access to it.
Yeah. Now, here is another property that sold here in this auction. So this is a piece of vacant commercial property. It sold for $19,200. But this is this might have been the best purchase in the whole auction, just because it was such a nice piece of property, probably valued well over $100,000, and was picked up, and they're not going to have to really do anything to it in order to sell it like that, aside from clear up the title.
Yeah, well, and that's definitely the process you'd go through, clearing the title on this property and reselling it. I mean, you can see that it's in a really nice commercial area.
Yeah.
There's office buildings all around the property. It's got good size to it. It's got good value to it.
Yeah, the building just to the north is almost identical to this in size. So just to give you an idea of what could be done to this property, something just like the property right there to the north of it could be done.
Yeah, for sure. And so there's definitely a lot of value. These are the kind of properties that we like to go after when we talk about land properties or more highly valued properties. I mean, if we're talking about putting in $20,000 toward this versus a house that probably is not going to be as valued as high. $20,000 may get you a $70,000 to $80,000 house, but you are going to have to put another $20,000 into rehab. Mm-hmm. Where this property, we can go through quiet title, we can get the clear title. You could do additional tests to it as well, but you're still, even if you do additional tests, maybe you're into it $5,000, and there's a huge amount of potential profit, meaning that this property is over $100,000 plus of potential value.
Yeah, just an awesome property and one that has a ton of potential. But even on some of the properties where you didn't have to spend, quite as much, this is one of the properties here that sold for $5,400. This is a commercial vacant lot, basically. It's only like a third of an acre, so it's not really that big. It was picked up for $5,400, has an assessed value of $26,900, and a market that's probably a little above that.
Yeah, another great property picked up, for under 20 cents on the dollar, has potential value. And on this property, we would probably do the same thing. We would go ahead and hire an attorney to take it through quiet title. On some of these type of properties that are lower priced, that's where we'll go ahead and do what we call wholesale them, meaning that we're just going to sell it as is at a high discount. But with this property, it looks like it has enough value that it would make sense to look at quiet titling the property. That way you can sell it just like any other type of property.
Yeah, with a value like it has there, upwards of $30,000, it's going to make sense just to get the title cleared up so that you can sell it for full value.
Well, and before we buy any of these type of properties, land properties, we're going to make sure to contact the city or where the property is located to make sure that it's buildable. That's one thing that we're always going to check and make sure that the size of it allows a structure to be built. Otherwise, we're going to really limit the use to it, and we could end up buying a property that may not be used. We've seen places where you used to be able to buy or to build a home on a property that was a 0.2 acres. Well, now you need to have a half an acre within the town to be able to build a home. So that's something to always check before buying some building lot.
Yeah, you've got to be aware of who your potential buyers might be, whenever you're considering something that you want to pick up. So
now, if you like our training, you can become a member. We have two different ways you can join. We have our website membership at taxsalesupport.com. That's $39 a month. You can cancel at any time, or do 12 months at $29 a month. But we also have our YouTube memberships as well.
Yeah, which that gives you a number of ways that you can join, including one of the packages, the gold, that includes regular membership plus additional content. But something else that we have been doing just recently is with the 1-year membership, it includes a ticket to the one-day workshop, which is another great thing that's just kind of added into it.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if you are interested, we do have some 3-day trainings coming up in a number of different locations, and the 1-day online workshop that you can attend if you'd like some additional training.
Yeah, we'd love to see you there. So thanks so much for watching the video.
Yep, hit the like button, and we appreciate you guys watching.